Hello everyone, I am Prabhat, co-founder at Invest My Fund. Welcome to a new episode Know Your Fund Manager. Today we have a special guest Mr. Trideep Bhattacharya, CIO at Edelweiss Asset Management. With over 30 years of experience in financial market, Trideep held multiple positions at UBS Global Asset Management, Axis Mutual Fund, and he is currently President and CIO for Edelweiss Asset Management. Today we are here to discuss on a very important topic, investing for millennials. Welcome Trideep to our podcast. Let's start with the basic. What are the biggest challenges that millennials face while building wealth?
So, first of all, thanks for inviting me to your show. I would, if I were to put myself in the shoes of a millennial, I would actually talk about three constraints that they need to balance. I think the first thing that I would say is the starting capital. Given that as millennial, the starting capital is small, one has to set aside a certain amount of money to be hopefully kind of put aside for investing for the long term rather than kind of keep it away. So that's one decision that they have to make as to what is the starting capital. Second is how much of the money that they earn should be sort of spent versus kept aside for investing. That percentage is an important decision that a millennial needs to make, because that will decide over a period of time the benefits of compounding. And the third is the volatility of the underlying asset class that they invest in. I think they need to internalize the fact that the asset classes can be volatile, understand the risk parameters and invest based on that. That probably needs a bit of time to be spent on understanding the risk factors. But I would say broadly these three parameters are the starting dilemma for millennials today.
Well covered Trideep. Why it is important for millennials to start early even they do not have a large sum of money?
So I think the answer to this is basically the joys of compounding. Compounding is basically called to be the eighth wonder of the world, and so much so that if you start early, then the longer the time that is spent in to allow the benefit of compounding to play out, the higher the outcome, the higher the value over a period of time. So I would say the clear benefit of starting early is that the time in the market is significantly higher, and that results in meaningfully higher returns for the millennial than otherwise.
Trideep, what are the essential steps millennials should take when they start their investing journey?
So I think the first thing they need to think about is overall what percentage of their salary they want to step aside or set aside for investing purposes. And it's a difficult decision to make, because as millennials they have spending urges, and maybe from a lifestyle perspective or some other perspective. So we need to respect that, but the first port of call should be kind of what percentage of their salary or the source of income that they need to set aside for investing. It's advisable to sit with an advisor to do the same, but it's also important to do the same. The second is to understand which asset classes they want to invest in, and that should be based on their knowledge base, but that's the second decision that they need to make before they think about investing.
Trideep, what role do mutual fund play for diversifying portfolio for a millennials?
If you ask me, mutual funds is one of the best routes that is available for a millennial to create wealth over a period of time. And I say this because of two or three reasons. First of all, they are diversified, and hence from that perspective the volatility, while it is there, is relatively lesser than some of the more exotic asset classes. Second, they are highly liquid. If they need cash, they can very well withdraw at in the course of the next 2 or 3 days when they decide to do the same. And third, the regulations of the country work significantly in favor of millennials, because it's a well regulated sector, and hence the minority or the regulators work for the small investor, and hence the millennials are well taken care of along with many other minority shareholders as they invest in mutual funds. So, diversified product, lower volatility than other historic asset classes, and third, well regulated makes it more transparent.
Trideep, given the rise of alternative investment and cryptocurrency, how should millennial look to invest in these risky assets?
When I say with caution, what I mean is some of these cryptocurrency markets are still not regulated, and as regulation comes in, we will see the extent of profitability or profits that still remains. I would encourage millennials to study and gain knowledge first on the asset classes they want to invest in, and once they have sufficient knowledge, then only start investing. Otherwise, not to invest based on somebody else's advice, because the volatility could be meaningfully different. Being unregulated or particularly in cryptocurrencies, that could mean significant loss of capital. Of course, it comes to potential gain also, but I think hence I would say from all of these perspectives, one needs to kind of look at cryptocurrencies with caution, carefully, and only after understanding the market one should go about thinking about investing.
Trideep, what kind of a mistake you see in young investors and how can we avoid them?
I think the most common mistake that I see amongst millennials is the spending versus investing. Given that they are at an age where they would like to change their lifestyles, or they would like to kind of gain a certain status, and there are spending urges driven by that. But to forego that spending urge and instead of that to invest to create wealth over the next 10, 20, 30 years, so that they can realize some of their more important life goals, whether it is funding of marriage, funding of retirement or house or any property over a period of time, is the biggest mistake that I see millennials make in favor of short term. If they think long term, I think there can't be a better option than investing.
Finally, what kind of advice you want to give to a new investor who just recently started investing and have a lot of information available on social media and other platforms? How he can stay focused?
Simplicity of the asset class that you invest in is driven by the transparency of the asset class, how well regulated the asset class is, and whether it is mainstream. I think if you tick all these three boxes, my advice would be that mutual funds is a very good vehicle to think about starting investing in asset classes. Before they start investing, I would encourage to spend some time around understanding the different types of mutual funds, like large cap, mid cap, small cap. What are these types? What does it mean to invest in equity mutual funds? And once they get clarity, equities is the way to go. They can put aside certain part of their saving towards investing, and hopefully that compounds wealth over a period of time and make them significantly wealthy.
Thank you, Trideep, for joining us and providing a very crucial information for millennials investing.
My pleasure. Thank you for all the wonderful questions. I hope it reaches the right audience.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.